Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be doing a rod and reel arsenal for 2025, and it is 60 degrees right now in Illinois, but the water is still in the mid to low 30s, so a bunch of stuff is frozen over, and if it's not frozen over, it's so cold that the fishing's terrible. But there are going to be more fishing videos coming soon whenever it cools off again, the power plant lakes start producing again. Since my last rod and reel arsenal video, I've picked up a few new setups, so I'm going to show you guys those today, and all the ones I already have. They're all lined up behind me here. I'm going to put the camera on the tripod and then show you guys what I use each one for, what line I use, and the average lures, and say if I recommend the setup or not, since I've used a ton of different brands. So enjoy. So my first few setups are going to be swim or glide bait setups. So if you don't care about swim bait fishing, then you can skip a little bit ahead until my conventional setups. But my first one and my favorite reel ever is the Shimano Antares DC Monster Drive 2018, and I have this on a Leviathan Omega swim bait. This is the heavy, this is the literal perfect like Metro Glide tiny class rod. It is awesome for that, and I've just got the Gomexus flat knobs on there because the DRT varial handle is $200, so if you can buy them. But I keep 20-pound fluorocarbon on here. This is my smaller glide bait setup. By smaller, I mean anything from like an ounce to 4 or about that I use on this rod. And I'm gonna have close-up footage of each setup thrown in here too when I'm talking about it, so you guys will be seeing that hopefully. And the next setup is one I recently got. The reel I've had since the summer, but the rod I just got. This is a Shimano Xsense DC, the 2017 one, and this is a saltwater reel, but it's also a great swim bait reel. The only issue I have with it is it does not hold a ton of line, so might eventually go to a braid to heavy leader setup on this. I know a lot of guys like that, but I prefer just 20-pound fluorocarbon. So this is my slightly heavier swim bait rod. This is the extra heavy Leviathan Omega Soft Swim. I know this Negotiator doesn't really fit the class I was talking about, but I just wanted to try it on the new rod since I just got it. And this reel is absolutely awesome. It's the same body as the 2018 Antares DC. It's the same body, just a slightly smaller spool, but absolutely great reel. And yeah, this is just another insane setup that I'm very lucky to have. I also run 20-pound fluorocarbon here. That's my favorite. I just use a Brazek. And next is going to be my soft swim setup, and this is a little bit heavy of a rod for what I use it for, but it is a Leviathan Alpha Soft Swim extra heavy. Now you could throw like super heavy soft baits on this because it's an extra heavy, which I probably should have got a heavy for what I use it for. I've just got a 5-inch burrito on there now because the fishing is extremely slow. I have to downsize a little bit this time of year here in the Midwest, but just got 20-pound fluoro on this. This is a Daiwa Ryoga. This is the 1016, so it's a 5-year. Super good for soft baits because you almost here this time of year have to fish slower. You have to literally make yourself fish slower, but this is a very slow gear ratio. It's great for that, and love throwing like the Citizen 7 on this. Probably just should have got the heavy, but unlocks more possibilities whenever you have the extra heavy. Can eventually move up to throwing some bigger stuff if I wanted to. But the Ryoga, this is a insane, this is the smoothest reel of all time. This reel, I don't know what they put in it, but I've never felt another bait caster that is anywhere near as smooth as this thing. It is crazy. 20-pound of Brazeks on there again too. And then we've got my absolute like giant pool noodle flipping rod. This is a Shimano X-Pride B, I believe it is. The X-Pride B. This is the newer one. So I have one of the old and one of the new X-Prides. This is one of the newer ones. And this is an absolutely insane rod. This is the 7.6 heavy, and it weighs literally nothing. It is such a nice rod. I absolutely love the X-Pride lineup. So I would recommend 100% if you're on the fence about an X-Pride, do it. It is such a nice rod. I use this for jigs, Texas rigs. Such a great flipping rod. 7.6 heavy. On here I've got a Daiwa Coastal TWS. This is the older one. These are on sale like crazy. I know a bunch of my friends bought one. I bought this one used on eBay for super cheap. It's a saltwater sealed reel, but I'm fishing in Illinois, so just it's basically the Tatula Elite. It's just blue, and it was way cheaper than the Tatula Elite, but great reel. Got 20-pound of Brazeks on there also. Heavy cover flipping setup, absolutely amazing. Next, we've got a reel that I've put through the absolute ringer, and it has stood up great. This is a Corrado DC, of course by Shimano, and I got this reel for Christmas in late 2019, so early 2020 basically. That's how long I've had it, and I have never cleaned it. I've done it myself a few times, but not great obviously. This thing still casts insane. It's not very smooth. It sounds like it's full of dirt a lot of the time, but haven't had any issues with it, and absolutely love this reel. Definitely worth the money. And the rod I've got it on is a 7.2 medium heavy Shimano Zodius, the newer Zodius, and absolutely love this rod too. I use this setup for, it's kind of like an all-around setup because it's a medium heavy, but I really like it for chatterbaits. It's not a super soft medium heavy, but to me I just like it for them. And then sometimes I'll throw spinner baits or heavier liplesses on this too. It's really a great rod. 17-pound of Brazeks on there for a lot of times throwing spinner baits and chatterbaits around docks. Next setup is one of my absolute favorites. I say that about all of them, but it's true. Got the Shimano Chronarch MGL. Got this 2 or 3 years ago at this point, and use it literally like every day, and it holds up amazing. People don't like this reel, no idea why. It is a 10 out of 10 reel. It's super light, casts super far, and it's just awesome. This is my lighter Texas rig jig setup. I'll use this if I'm just fishing in like more open water or not as heavy of cover. I have that paired with a 7.2 heavy Poison Adrena, and the 7.2 heavy Poison Adrena is not that heavy of a rod. It says it's a heavy, but it's a lighter heavy, and this rod is just insane. I know they came out with the new Poison Adrena, so these are on sale. Pick one up if you want, like if you had like, it's worth it 100%. This rod is absolutely unreal. 20-pound fluorocarbon on here again, lighter flipping setup, but absolutely love this. Next, I'm talking about my 2 frog setups. I've got 2 because I let my friends use them a lot of times, or my dad, back and forth. We use whatever one we want to use, really. And I'll talk about this one first. This is a Shimano Scorpion XT. This is a super old reel, but it is absolutely awesome. This is I think it's a 2010. Maybe something like that. It's super old, but it's awesome. This is the same as the green Curado. You guys will know what I'm talking about. I'll throw up a picture of it right now, but everybody's dad or friend has a green Curado and they absolutely love it. It's bulletproof. This is the same reel, but it's a Japanese one. It's literally the same reel. And I have this with a Mojo Bass by St. Croix, the older one. The frog rod, I love the setup, it's awesome. And the other frog setup I have is another old reel from about the same time period. This is the Shimano Core 100 MG, and this reel is awesome. I've always wanted one, and I got it last summer. But these are pretty hard to find. They're a super light for how old they are reel. They palm like perfect. It's a little bit bigger, which is great because I've got big hands, but need to get a bigger handle on it. But other than that, it is absolutely great reel. The casting on this thing is unreal. I mean, cast out the whole spool line every time. But on both of these I use 65-pound braid, and you're probably thinking that's too heavy for frog fishing, or bass fishing I mean, but it's the cover you're fishing, not the size of the fish. So the next setups I'm going to talk about are my 3 spinning setups, and I change the reels on these 3 rods all the time. I do not keep one of these reels on the same rod for more than like a month. I switch them around. I use 10-pound fluorocarbon or 12-pound fluorocarbon as a leader to either 15 or 20-pound braid on all 3 setups. But the first one is this is a Shimano Stratic CI4 Plus, the best spinning reel ever in my opinion. I haven't tried like the Stellas and the ones of that price range, but for this price range, definitely the best. This is the old one, and on that I have a Megabass Levante. This is the F4 Enforcer spinning rod, and it is basically like a 7.4 medium, I'm pretty sure. Absolutely love this spinning rod. It's so nice. It is like, Megabass rods are just so nice. This one is absolutely unreal. Absolutely love this spinning rod. Definitely recommend it. And another spinning rod, the next 2 actually, I changed the reels between these 2 mainly the most. That one, by the way, I use it for wacky rigs, drop shots, anything. I use wacky rig, Ned rig, drop shot in all 3 of these, and I interchange them. I don't have a technique specific spinning rod. They're all like medium or medium lights, so it's kind of, I don't know. But these next 2 I switch the reels all the time. This is a older Shimano Nasi, so it's a very heavy reel, but it's great. This is another CI4 Plus Stratic. This is a 2500 size. That was a 3000 size, the first one I showed you guys, but this one I bought aftermarket from eBay, Japan. It is absolutely awesome. Super cheap now because they're older, but great reels. These 2 rods that I switched these 2 reels between are favorite Phantom rigged version. I got this in Cabela's 7 years ago at this point, maybe. It's been that long, I think. But this is a medium light, and this is a St. Croix Mojo Bass Trigon medium. Absolutely love this rod. Love both of these. They're both great. Use those for literally anything a spinning reel needs to throw. Also, I forgot to mention, I just realized while looking at it, this frog rod is the favorite Balance Flare Edition. Yeah, it's the Flare Edition one. I got this at Farm and Home or Tractor Supply, one of the 2. They had it on the shelf for 70 bucks last year or 2 years ago, which is crazy because they stopped selling these in like 2019. And the tip was messed up, so I just put a new tip on it and I got it for way cheaper in person, and it's a great rod. And the next setup is one I've had for absolutely forever. This is a Shimano Curado K, and I got this literally like when it released in 2020. It is an awesome reel. Absolutely love it. Keep 17-pound fluorocarbon in here, and I've got this on the X Pride A, the older X Pride. This is like, I've caught the most fish on this rod out of any of these probably. This is absolutely my favorite rod ever. This is a 7.2 medium heavy X Pride. I use this for literally everything. I like it for spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, liplesses, Texas rigs, literally anything. It works for everything. It's such a great setup. But the Curado K, you can buy them used right now for pretty cheap because there's so many new Curados, and I would definitely recommend it. They're a great reel. Next is another recent one I picked up. This was last summer. This is a 2017 Shimano Scorpion DC. This is an absolutely insane casting reel. This might be the furthest casting reel I own. It's absolutely nuts. But I've got 15-pound fluorocarbon in here, and on here I've got the Levante. My Megabass is the Diablo Spec R, so this is a spinnerbait rod, chatterbait rod. I use it for liplesses. I use it for literally everything. Again, jerkbaits. It's a little heavy for jerkbaits, but it's a super great rod. It's insane how nice the setup is for how cheap you can get these reels used, and the Levante is just unreal for only 200 bucks. But I definitely recommend both of these. And then the last two are ones I've had for quite a while, I guess, besides this reel. This is a Shimano Metanium 2020, sold only in Japan, I'm pretty sure, but super tiny reel. It's literally super tiny. I've got 12-pound fluoro on here, so my cranking setup. I have a Lew's cranking stick that my dad bought in college that he gave to me. You can see part of the butt is missing on it, but this rod is literally the flimsiest rod of all time. It bends like literally down to here. It's the most parabolic rod ever, and I love it for that. It is such a great crankbait rod. You literally do not lose fish on this thing. It is absolutely awesome. And this Metanium you can get for fairly cheap. I believe they paid $150 used for this one on eBay, which is crazy for Metanium. It is definitely worth it. It is an insane reel. And then this is a Shimano Canon. They have not made this reel in quite a while, and I have that on a Pro Qualifier tube from Bass Pro. I've had this set up since 2018. Absolutely love it. I use this also for liplesses, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits. Those three, I interchange those three setups. I've said that for with those three lures usually, but yeah, I mean, I've had this rod forever and it still holds up great. It's a medium heavy, and the reel, the Canon, got 17-pound fluoro on here. This is one of Shimano's cheapest reels I've ever sold. They do not sell it anymore. I believe there's a counterpart called like the Bass Rise in Japan that is basically the same thing, but this reel, awesome for $70 back whenever it was for sale in 2018. It's a super good reel. So that is going to do it for the video today. Hopefully you guys like the footage of all the close-ups of the reels, and honestly, every single rod and reel that I have, I would recommend getting. If you've been thinking about getting one of these, leave any questions you guys have down below. Literally any questions at all, I'll answer them. I love talking about gear. It's my favorite thing. So all of these setups are absolutely awesome. Literally, I have no complaints about like any of them. My one recommendation is don't buy reels used. Buy them off of eBay, particularly Japanese reels from Japan. Make sure they have a 30-day return, because if the reel's like not in good condition and it's not as listed, you can return it. eBay's really good about that. I haven't had to, but I've been really lucky. Every reel I have bought since, I don't know, 3 years ago has been used from Japan. It's worth it. They're literally brand new basically most of the time. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave all your questions below, and thank you for watching.